Ride through the wild country that I love, but don't sleep. Give me myself.
Where's your tobacco?
I think I left it up on the porch. It's gonna rain tonight.
Oh, can you say so?
Yeah, right here.
It can't rain.
Hiya!
Hello, Frank. What's doing?
Nothing. Mopping up for breakfast. That beautiful, not a cloud.
Yeah, that's nice.
Every Sunday ought to be like this.
You got the paper?
Well, what's the difference? It's all bad news. What's today's calamity?
I don't know. I don't read the news part anymore. It's more interesting in the one ads.
Why, are you trying to buy something?
No, I'm just interested. See what people want, you know? For instance, here's a guy who's looking for 2 Newfoundland dogs. Now, what's he want with 2 Newfoundland dogs?
That is funny.
Here's another one. Wanted, old dictionaries, high prices paid. What's a man gonna do with an old dictionary?
Why not? Probably a book collector.
You mean you make a living out of that?
Sure, there's a lot of them.
All that kind of business going on. You know, in my day, you were either a lawyer or a doctor, or you worked in a shop.
I
Today,
was going to be a forester once.
well, see, that shows you. In my day, there was no such thing. You look at a page like this and you realize how ignorant you are.
Hey, what happened to your tree?
Yeah, ain't that awful? The wind must have got it last night. You heard the wind, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got a mess in my yard too. What a pity. Well, what did Kate say?
They're all asleep yet. I'm just waiting for her to see it.
You know, it's funny.
What?
When Larry was born in August, he'd have been 27 this month, and his tree blows down.
I'm surprised you remembered his birthday, Frank. That's nice.
Well, I'm working on his horoscope.
How can you make him a horoscope? That's for the future, ain't it?
Well, what I'm doing is this, see? Larry was reported missing on November 25th, right?
Yeah.
Well, then we assumed that if he was killed, it was on November 25th. Now, Kate wants us
So Kate asked you to make the horoscope.
Yeah, what she wants to find out is whether November 25th was a favorable day for Larry.
What is that favorable day?
Well, a favorable day for a person is a fortunate day, according to his stars. In other words, it would be practically impossible for him to have died on this favorable day.
Well, what is that his favorable day, November 25th?
That's what I'm working on to find out. It takes time. See, the point is, if November 25th was his favorable day, that is completely possible. He's alive somewhere because, I mean, it's possible. I didn't even see him.
Is he making any sense?
Him? He's okay. He's just completely out of his mind, that's all.
The trouble with you is you don't believe in anything.
And your trouble is, you'll believe in anything. You haven't seen my kid this morning, have you?
No?
Imagine, he walked out with his thermometer right out of his bag.
What a problem. One look at a girl, and he wants to take her temperature.
Oh, that boy's going to be a real doctor. He's smart.
Over my dead body, he'll be a doctor. And a good beginning, too.
Why? It's an honorable profession.
Brian, will you stop sounding like a civics book?
When I saw a movie a couple weeks ago, it reminded me of you. There was a doctor in the picture.
It was Don Amici.
I think it was, yeah. And he worked in his basement discovering things. That's what you ought to do. You can help humanity.
I would love to help humanity on a Warner Brothers salary.
Very good.
So where's that beautiful girl that's supposed to be here?
Oh, anything?
Yeah, sleeping upstairs. Picked her up on the 1 o'clock train last night. Wonderful thing. The girl leaves here, a scrawny kid. A couple of years go by, and she's a regular woman. I hardly recognized her. She was running in and out of this yard all her life. I was a very happy family used to live in your house, Jim.
Boy, I'd love to meet her. The block could sure use a pretty girl. In the whole neighborhood, there's just not a damn thing to look at. Except my wife, of course.
Mrs. Adams is on the phone, you dog.
Such is the condition that prevails. My love, my life.
Don't sniff around me. and give her a nasty answer. I can smell her perfume over the phone.
What's the matter with her now?
I don't know, dear. She sounds like she's in terrible pain, unless her mouth is full of candy.
Well, why didn't you tell her to lay down, dear?
Because she enjoys it more when you tell her to lay down. When are you gonna go see Mr. Hubbard?
My dear, Mr. Hubbard is not sick, and I've got better things to do than to hold his hand.
Well, it seems to me that for $10, you can hold his hand.
If your son wants to play some golf, tell him I'm ready. Or if he wants to travel around the world for the next 30 years.
Why do you needle him? He's a doctor. Women are supposed to call him up.
All I said was Mrs. Adams is on the phone.
You were a nurse too long, Susie. You're too realistic.
Now you said it.
Hi, the toaster. Hiya.
Hello!
The toaster is off again.
Well, plug it in, I just fixed it.
Please, dear, fix it back like it was before.
I don't know why you can't learn to turn on a simple thing like a toaster.
Thomas Edison.
It really is very handy. Oh, did the wind get your tree?
Yeah, last night.
Oh, what a pity. Andy get in?
Sure, she'll be down soon. Wait till you meet her soon. She's a knockout.
Should have been a man. People are always introducing me to beautiful women. Tell her to come by later. I imagine she'd like to see what we did with her house.
Is she still unhappy, Joe?
Annie? I don't suppose she goes around dancing on her toes, but I think she's over it.
She want to get married? Is there anybody?
I suppose. I say, it's been a couple years already, and she can't mourn a boy forever.
You know, it's so strange. Annie's here and not even married, and I've got 3 babies. I always thought it would be the other way around.
That's what a war does. I had 2 sons, now I got 1. Changed all the talents. You know, in my day, when you had sons, it was an honor. Today, I think a doctor can make $1 million if he could figure out a way to bring a boy into the world without a trigger finger.
No, I was just reading. Oh, hi, Chris.
Lydia, come in here. If you want the toaster to work, then plug in the molten mixer.
Did I?
And the next time I fix something, don't tell me I'm crazy. Now come in here.
I'll never hear the end of this.
So what's the difference? Instead of toast, you have a malted. You want the paper?
That's all right, just the book section.
You're always reading the book section. You never buy a book.
I like to keep abreast of my ignorance.
So what is that? Every week a new book comes out?
A lot of new books.
They're all different.
All different.
Annie up yet?
Mother's giving her breakfast in the dining room.
See what happened to the tree?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're gonna say.
You're finally up!
Hey, Berkshire! Where's Tommy? He's got his father's thermometer again.
He's taking a reading,
What?
but it's only oral.
Oh, well, no harm in oral. So, what's new, Bert?
Nothing.
Then you could not have made a complete inspection of the block. You know, when I first made you a policeman, you used to come in here every morning with something new. Now, nothing's ever new.
Except for some kids on 13th Street. They started putting the candle block, and I made him go away because he was sleeping.
Now you're talking, Bert. Now you're on the ball. First thing you know, I'm liable to make you a detective.
Can I see the jail now?
Seeing the jail ain't allowed, Bert. You know that.
Oh, there isn't even a jail. I don't see any bars in the windows.
Bert, on my word of honor, there is a jail in the basement. I showed you my gun, didn't I?
That's a hunting gun.
That's an arresting gun.
Well, you never arrest anybody. How can you say another dirty word to Doris or she did? You didn't even demote him.
Yeah, well, that's a dangerous character, that Tommy. What word does he say?
Well, I can't say that.
Give me a hint.
It's not a nice word.
Whisper in my ear. I'm closing my eyes. Maybe I won't even hear it.
I can't, Mr. I can't.
Don't make him do that.
All right. I take your word for it. Now, I want you to go out there and keep both eyes peeled.
For what?
For what? Bert, the whole neighborhood is depending on you. A policeman don't ask questions. Now, peel them eyes.
Okay.
And mum's the word, Bert.
But what?
Just in general. And be very careful.
Okay.
One of these days they'll all come in here and beat your brains out.
What is she gonna say? Maybe we ought to tell her before she sees.
She saw it.
How could she see it? I was the first one up. She was still with us.
She was out here when it broke.
When?
About 4 this morning. I heard it cracking and I looked out. She was standing right here when it cracked.
What was she doing out here at 4 in the morning?
I don't know. When it cracked, she went back inside and cried in the kitchen.
Did you talk to her?
No, I felt the best thing was to leave her alone.
She cried hard.
I could hear her right through the floor of my room.
What's she doing out here at that hour? You know, she's dreaming about him again. She's walking around at night.
I guess she is.
She's getting just like after he died. Now, what is the meaning of that?
I don't know the meaning of it, but I know one thing, Dad. We made a terrible mistake with Mother.
What?
Being dishonest with her. That kind of thing always pays off, and now it's paying off.
What do you mean dishonest?
You know Larry's not coming back, and I know it. Why do we allow her to go on thinking that we believe with her?
Well, going to argue with her?
I don't want to argue with her, but it's time she realized that nobody believes that Larry's alive anymore. Why shouldn't she dream of him? Walk the nights waiting for him. Do we contradict her? Do we say straight out that we have no hope anymore? That we haven't had any hope for years now?
You can't say that to her.
We've got to say it to her.
Well, how are you going to prove it? Can you prove it?
I say 3 years. Nobody comes back after 3 years. It's insane.
To you it is, and to me, but not to her. Now, you can talk yourself blue in the face, but there's no body, and there's no grave, so where are you?
All right, sit down, Dad. I want to talk to you.
The trouble is the goddamn newspapers. Every month, some boy turns up out of nowhere. So, the next one, going to be Larry.
All right, listen to me. You know why I asked Annie here, don't you?
Why?
You know.
I got an idea. Well, what's the story?
I'm going to ask her to marry me.
That's only your business, Chris.
You know it's not only my business.
You're old enough to know your own mind. What do you want me to do?
Then it's all right, I'll go ahead with it.
Well, you want to make sure the mother is...
Then it isn't just my business.
No, I'm just saying that.
God, sometimes you infuriate me, you know that? Isn't it your business too if I tell this to Mother and she throws a fit about it? You have such a talent for ignoring things.
I ignore what I got to ignore. The girl is Larry's girl.
She's not Larry's girl.
From Mother's point of view, he is not dead. And you have no right to take his girl. Now, you can go on from there if you know where to go, but I don't know where to go. See, I don't know, so what can I do for you?
I don't know why it is, but every time I reach out for something I want, I have to pull back because someone else will suffer. My whole bloody life, time after time after time.
Well, you're a considerate fellow. There's nothing wrong with that.
To hell with that.
Did you ask Annie yet?
I wanted to get this settled first.
How do you know she'll marry you? Maybe she feels the same way Mother does.
Well, if she does, then that's the end of it. I mean, from her letters, I think she's forgotten him. I'll find out, and then we'll thrash it out with Mother, right? Dad, don't avoid me.
The trouble is you don't see enough women. You never did.
So what? I'm not fast with women.
I don't see why it has to be Annie.
Because it is.
It's a good answer, but it don't answer anything. You haven't seen her since you went to war. It's 5 years.
I can't help it. I know her best. I was brought up next door to her. These years, when I think of someone as my wife, I think of Annie. What do you want, a diagram?
I don't want a diagram. It just... She thinks he's coming back, Chris. If you marry that girl, you're pronouncing him dead. Now, what's going to happen to Mother? Do you know? I don't.
All right, Dad.
Also give it some more thought.
I've given it 3 years of thought. I hope that if I waited, that Mother would forget Larry and we'd have a regular wedding and everything happy. But if that can't happen here, I'll have to get out.
The hell is this?
I'll get out. I'll get married and live someplace else, maybe in New York.
Are you crazy?
I've been a good son too long, a good sucker. I'm through with it.
You've got a business here. What the hell is
The
this?
business. The business doesn't inspire me.
Must you be inspired?
Yes. I'd like it an hour a day. If I have to grub for money all day long, at least at evening I want it beautiful. I want a family. I want some kids. I want to build something I can give myself to. Annie is in the middle of that. Where do I find it?
You mean... Well, tell me something. You mean you leave the business?
Yes. On this I would.
Well, you don't want to think like that.
Then help me stay here.
All right, but don't think that way, because then what the hell did I work for? That's all for you, Chris. The whole shooting match much as for you.
I know that, Dad. Just you help me stay here. Okay?
Don't think like that, you hear me?
I am thinking like that.
I don't understand you, do I?
No, you don't. I'm a pretty tough guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
No!
Hello, Mom.
Did you take it back from under the sink?
Yeah, I put it in the pail.
Well, get it out of the pail. That's my potato.
I thought it was garbage.
Will you do me a favor, Joe? Don't be helpful.
I can afford another bag of potatoes.
Minnie scoured that pail in boiling water last night. It's cleaner than your teeth.
And I don't understand why, after I worked 40 years and I got a maid, why I gotta take out the garbage.
If you'd make up your mind that every bag in the kitchen isn't filled with garbage, you wouldn't be throwing out my vegetables. Last time it was the onions.
I don't like garbage in the house.
Then don't eat.
Oh, that settles you for today.
Oh, yeah. I'm in last place again. You know, once upon a time, I used to think that when I got money again, I have a maid and my wife would take it easy. Now, I got money, and I got a maid, and my wife is working.
It's a day off. What are you crabbing about?
Isn't Annie finished eating?
Should we ride out? Boy, the wind sure did some job on this place, huh? So much for that, thank God.
Sit down, take it easy.
No more roses. So funny, everything decides to happen at the same time. This month is his birthday, his tree blows down, Annie comes. It's like everything that happened before is coming back. I was just down in the cellar. What do I stumble over? His baseball glove. I haven't seen it in a century.
Don't you think Annie looks well?
Oh, yeah, fine. She's a beautiful girl, no question about it. I still don't know what brought her here, not that I'm not happy to see her. It's just...
But I just thought we'd all want to see each other again. And I wanted to see her myself.
The only thing is I think her nose got longer. But I'll always love that girl. She's one that didn't jump into bed with somebody else as soon as it happened with her fella.
Now, what are you talking about? That's not something.
Nothing, just that, you know, most of them didn't wait till the telegrams were open. I'm just glad she came so that you can see I'm not completely out of my mind.
Just because she isn't married doesn't mean she's been mourning Larry.
Why then isn't she?
Well, could have been any number of things.
Like what, for instance?
I don't know, whatever it is. Can I get you an aspirin?
It's not like a headache.
You don't sleep, that's why. She's wearing out more bedroom slippers and shoes.
I had a terrible night last night, terrible. Never had a night like that.
What was it, Mom? Did you dream
More than a dream.
about Larry?
I was fast asleep. And remember the way he used to fly low past the house when he was in training, the way we'd see his face in the cockpit going by? That's the way I saw him. Only high up. Way up where the clouds are. He was so real I could reach out and touch him. And then suddenly he started to fall and crying to me, Mom, Mom. I could hear him like he was in the room. Mom! It was his voice. If I could touch him, I knew I could stop him. If I could... It was so funny when I woke up. Wind sounded like the roaring of his engine. So I came out here. I must have still been half asleep. But I could hear the roaring like he was going by. Then that tree snapped right in front of me. And the light came awake. You see, we never should have planted that tree. I said so in the first place. It was too soon to plant a tree for him.
Too soon?
We rushed into it. Everybody was in such a hurry to bury him. I said not to plant it. Remember,
Mother, the wind blew it down. What significance has that got? What are you talking about? Mother, please don't go through it all again, will you? It's no good. It doesn't accomplish anything. But I've been thinking, you know, maybe we ought to put our minds to forgetting him.
It's the third time you've said that this week.
Because it isn't right. We never took up our lives again. We're like waiting at a railroad station for a train that never comes in.
Give me an aspirin, will you?
Sure, and let's break out of this, huh? I thought the four of us might go to dinner a couple of nights, maybe go dancing at the shore.
Sure. Let's do it tonight.
Swell with me. Sure, let's have some fun. You'll start with this aspirin.
does that bother you?
3.5 years she's been in New York. Why all of a sudden?
Maybe you just wanted to see her.
Nobody comes 700 miles just to see.
What do you mean? He grew up next door to the girl all his life. Why shouldn't he want to see her again? Don't look at me like that. He didn't tell me any more than he told you.
He's not going to marry her.
Well, how do you know he's even thinking it?
He's got that about it.
Well, so what?
What's going on here, Joe?
Now look, kid.
She's not his girl. She knows she's not.
Well, you can't read her mind.
Then why is she still single? New York is full of men. Why isn't she married? Probably 100 people told her she's foolish, but she's waited.
Well, how do you know why she's waiting?
She knows what I know, that's why. She's faithful as a rock. In my worst moments, I think of her waiting, and I know again that I'm right.
Look, it's a nice day. What do we argue?
No one in this house dares take her faith away, Joe. Strangers might. But not his father and not his brother.
Well, what do you want me to do? What do you want?
I want you to act like he's coming back. Both of you. Don't think I haven't noticed you, Joe, since Chris invited her here. I won't stand for any nonsense.
Kate.
Because if he's not coming back, I'll kill myself. Oh, laugh. Laugh. But why did that happen on the very night she came back? Laugh, but there are meanings in such things. She sleeps one night in his room and his memorial breaks into pieces. Look at it. Look at it!
Calm yourself.
I can't do this all by myself, Joe. I can't stand alone. You gotta believe.
Calm yourself.
Only last week, a man showed up in Detroit missing longer than Larry. You read it yourself.
All right.
You
calm
above
yourself.
all have got to believe.
Why me above all?
Just don't stop believing.
What does that mean, me above all?
Mr. Keller, say, Mr. Keller, probably said it again.
What?
The dirty word?
Oh,
Oh, Gio, you gonna arrest him? I warned him.
Stop that! Go home, Bert. There's no jail here.
Oh,
There's no jail here, and I want you to stop that.
He's right about this.
Go home, Bert! There's no jail here, and I want you to stop that whole damn business.
Look at you shaking.
I can't help it.
What have I got to hide? What the hell's the matter with you, Kate?
I didn't say you had anything to hide. I just want you to stop it. Hiya, Joe.
Take a breath of that air, kid. You never get air like that in New York.
Oh, Annie, where'd you get that dress?
I couldn't resist it. I am taking it right off before I ruin it. How is that for 3 weeks' salary?
Isn't she the most, it's just gorgeous, simply gorgeous.
No kidding. Now, isn't she the prettiest gal you ever saw?
You gained a little weight, didn't you, darling?
It comes and goes.
Look how nice her legs turned out.
Boy, the poplars sure got thick, didn't they?
Now it's 3 years, dude. You're getting old.
How's Mom like New York? Why'd they take our hammock away?
Oh, no, it broke a couple of years ago.
Oh, what broke? He had one of his light lunches and flopped into it.
Excuse me?
How do you do? She looks very intelligent.
This is Jim, Dr. Bayless.
Sure, he writes a lot about you.
Oh, don't believe a word. He likes everybody. In the battalion, he was known as Mother McKellar.
I can believe it. You know, it is so strange seeing him come out of that house. I guess I never really grew up. It almost seems as if Mom and Pop are in there now, and you and my brother doing algebra, and Larry trying to copy my homework. Gosh, it's dear dead days beyond recall.
Sure hope that doesn't mean you want me to move out.
Yeah? Come in here, Mr. Howard is on the phone.
I told you, dear, I don't want to talk to...
Please, please, dear.
Okay, Susie, be right there. And I know I just met you, but if I may offer you a piece of advice, when you marry, never, even in your mind, count your husband's money.
Jim!
At once, dear, at once.
I told her to take up the guitar. It'd be something they have in common. Well, he loves the guitar.
Let's eat at the shore tonight. We'll raise some hell around here like we used to before Larry went.
You think of him. You see, she thinks of him.
What do you mean, Kate?
Nothing, just that you remember him. He's in your thoughts.
Well, that's a funny thing to say. How could I help remembering him?
Did you hang up your things?
Yeah. Say, you have sure gone in for clothes. I can hardly find room in the closet.
No, that's Larry's room. Don't you remember?
You mean they're Larry's?
Didn't you recognize him?
Well, it never occurred to me that you would... I mean, the shoes are all shiny.
Yes, dear. Annie, for so long I've been aching to have a nice conversation with you. Sit down and tell me something. something.
What?
I don't know, something nice.
She means, do you go out much?
Oh, shut up.
Are any of them serious?
Oh, why did you both choke?
And you can't go to a restaurant with this woman anymore. In 5 minutes, 39 strange people are sitting at the table telling her their life story.
If I can't ask Annie a personal question.
Asking's all right, but don't beat her over the head. You're beating her. You're beating
Don't
her.
let them bulldoze you. You ask me anything you like. What do you want to know, Kate? Come on, let's gossip.
She's the only one who's got any sense. Your mother, she's not getting a divorce, huh?
No, she has calmed down about it now. I think when he gets out, they will probably live together. In New York, of course.
That's fine, because your father is still a decent man.
I don't care. She can take him back if she likes.
And you get out much?
You mean, am I still waiting for him?
Well, then why, I wouldn't expect you to wait for him.
But that's what you mean, isn't it?
Well, yes,
Well, I'm not, Kate.
you're not.
Isn't it ridiculous? You don't really imagine he's...
I know, but don't say it's ridiculous. Because, I don't know about New York, but the papers were full of it. In fact, there was half a page about a man missing longer than Larry, and he just turned up from Burma.
He couldn't have wanted to come home very badly, Mom.
Don't be so smart.
You could have a hell of a time in Burma.
So I've heard.
Mother, I'll bet you money that after 3 years, you're the only woman who's
Oh, you're
still...
sure?
Yes, I am.
Well, if you're sure, you're sure. They don't say it on the radio, but I'm sure. At night, in the dark, they're all still waiting for their sons.
Mother, you're absolutely ticklish.
Don't be so damn smart. Now stop it. There's a few things you don't know. All of you. And I'll tell you one of them, Annie. Deep, deep in your heart, you've always been waiting for him.
No, Kate.
No, deep, deep in your heart.
She ought to know, shouldn't she?
Don't let them tell you what to think. Listen to your heart, and only your heart.
Why does your heart tell you that he's alive?
Because he has to be.
But why, Kate?
Because certain things have to be, and certain things can never be. Like the sun has to rise, it has to be. That's why there's God. Otherwise, anything can happen. But there's God, so certain things can never happen. Believe me, Annie, I would know. Like the day I knew when he went into that terrible battle, did he write to me? Was it in the papers? No. But that morning, I couldn't lift my head up off the pillow. Ask Joe. Suddenly, I knew. He was nearly killed that day. And you know I'm right.
No, Kate.
I have to have some tea.
Annie, how are you? Gee whiz.
My Frank, you've gone gray.
He's got responsibility.
Gee whiz.
Without Frank, the stars wouldn't know when to come out.
You look more womanly. You matured.
Take it easy, Frank. You're a married man.
Are you still haberdashering?
Why not? Maybe I too could get to be president. How's your brother? Got his degree, I hear?
George has his own office now.
Don't say. And your dad, is he?
Fine. I'll be in to see Lydia.
How about it? Does that expect a parole soon?
I really don't know.
I mean, because I feel, you know, if an intelligent man like your father is put in prison, well, there ought to be a law that says you either execute him or let him go after a year.
Frank, can I help you with anything?
That's all right. I'll finish the horoscope tonight, Kate. See you later, Andy. You look wonderful.
Haven't they stopped talking about Dad?
Nobody talks about him anymore.
Already forgotten, kid.
Tell me, because I don't want to meet anybody on the block if they're
I
gonna
don't
talk.
want you to worry about him.
Do they still remember the case, Joe? I mean, do they talk about you?
The only one still talks about it is my wife.
Well, that's because you keep on playing policeman with all the kids. All the parents hear out of you is jail, jail, jail.
Oh, no. What actually happened was when I got home from the penitentiary, the kids got very interested in me. You know kids. I was the expert on the jail situation. And as time passed, they got it confused, and I ended up a detective.
Only they didn't get it confused. He hands out police badges out of the post office boxes.
It's wonderful to hear you laughing about it.
Why? What'd you expect?
The last thing that I remember on this block was one word. Murderers. You remember that, Kate? Hammond standing in front of our house yelling that word. She's still around, I suppose.
They're all still around.
Don't listen to her. Every Saturday night, the whole gang is playing poker right here in this arbor. All the ones who yelled murderers, taking my money.
Joe, don't fool her. She's a sensitive girl. They still remember about Dad. It's different with him. He was exonerated, but your father's still there. Honestly, that's why I wasn't so enthusiastic about your coming. I know how sensitive you are, and I said to Chris,
Listen.
maybe it's not...
You do like I did, and you'll be all right. The day I come home, I got out of the car, but not in front of the house. On the corner. You should have been there, and you too, Chris. You'd have seen something. Everybody knew I was getting out that day. The porches were loaded. Picture it now. None of them believed I was innocent. The story was, I pulled a fast one, getting myself exonerated. So I get out of the car, and I walk down the street, but slow, and with a smile. The Beast! I was the Beast! I was the guy who sold cracked cylinder heads to the Army Air Force. The guy who made 21 planes crash in Australia. Kid, walking down the street that day, I was guilty as hell, except I wasn't. And there's a court paper in my pocket to prove I wasn't. So, I walked past the porches. The result? 14 months later, I had one of the best shops in the state again, a respected man again, bigger than ever.
Joe McGuts.
The only way you lick him is guts. And the worst thing you did was to move away from here. You made it tough for your father when he gets out. That's why I tell you, I like to see him move right back on his block.
How can they move back?
It ain't gonna end until they move back. Until people play cards with him again and talk with him and smile with him. You play cards with him, man. You know he can't be a murderer. The next time you write him, I'd like you to tell him just what I said. You hear me?
Don't you hold anything against him?
I never believed in crucifying people, Annie.
But he was your partner. He dragged you through the mud.
He ain't my sweetheart, but you gotta forgive, don't you?
You either hate...
The next time you write that.
I don't write to him.
Well, every now and then you...
No, I have never written to him. Neither has my brother. Do you feel this way too?
He murdered 21 pilots.
What the hell kind of talk is
That's
that?
not a thing to say about a man.
And what else can you say? When they took him away, I followed him. I went to him every visiting day. I was crying all the time. Until the news came about Larry. Then I realized it's wrong to pity a man like that. Father or no father, there is only one way to look at him. He knowingly shipped out parts that would crash an airplane. And how do you know that Larry wasn't one of them?
I was waiting for that. And I want to ask you, as long as you're here, to never say that again.
Surprised me. I thought
What you bothered did had nothing to do with Larry, nothing.
But we can't
As
know
long
that.
as you're here.
Kate,
Put it out of your head.
Because the parts that...
That's all. That's enough. Now, we have to come inside and have some tea.
What you don't understand.
He's not dead. So there's no argument. Now, come.
In a minute. Now look,
All right, Dad, forget it.
no, she doesn't feel that
I'm
way.
sick of the whole subject, now cut it out.
You want her to go on like this? Annie, those cylinder heads went into P-40s only. What's the matter with you? You know Larry never flew a P-40.
So who flew those P-40s? Pigs?
The man was a fool. Don't make a murderer out of him. What, you got no sense? You see what it does to her? Listen, you gotta appreciate what was going on in that shop during the war, the both of you. It was a madhouse. Every half hour, the major was yelling for cylinder heads. He was calling with us. They were whipping us with the telephones. The trucks were hauling them away hot damn near. I mean, try to see it human. See it human. You know, all of a sudden, a batch comes out with a crack. Well, that happens. That's the business. A fine hairline crack. Well, he's a little man, your father. He's always scared of loud voices. You know, what will the major say? Outdays production shot. Or what will I say? Human. You know what I mean? So he takes out his tools and he covers over the crack. Oh, that's bad. That's wrong. But that's what a little man does. If I could have gone in that day, I'd have told him, junk him, Steve, we can afford it. But alone, he was afraid. But I know he meant no harm. He believed they would hold up 100%. Now, that's a mistake. It ain't murder. He doesn't feel that way about him. It ain't right. You hear me?
Joe, let's forget it.
And the day the news came about Mary, he was in the cell next to mine, Dad. And he cried, Annie. He cried half the night.
He should have cried all night.
Annie, I do not understand why you got...
He just wants everybody happy.
Yeah, that's my sentiment. Say, can you stand a steak?
And champagne.
Ha! Now you're operating. I'll call Swanson's. We'll get a big table. Big time tonight, Annie.
Well, you can't scare me.
Oh, I like this girl. Wrap her up. You got nice legs, Annie. I want to see everybody drunk tonight. Look at him. He's blushing.
Drink your tea, Casanova. Isn't he a great guy?
You are the only one I know who loves his parents.
I know, it went out of style, didn't it?
It's all right. It's a good thing. You know, it's lovely here. The air is sweet.
You're not sorry you came?
Not sorry, no. But I'm not going to stay.
Why?
Well, in the first place, your mother as much as told me to go.
Well,
You saw that. And then you have been
what?
kind of embarrassed ever since I got here.
Well, the trouble is, I kind of planned on sneaking up on you over the period of a week or so. But they take it for granted that we're all set.
Well, I knew that they would. Your mother, anyway.
How did you know?
Well, from her point of view, why else would I come?
Well, would you want to? I mean, I guess you know this is why I asked you to come.
I guess this is why I came.
And I love you. I love you a great deal. I love you. I have no imagination. That's all I know to say. I'm embarrassing you. I didn't want to tell it to you here. I wanted someplace else, someplace we've never been. You feel it's wrong here, don't you? This yard, this chair. I want you to be ready for me. I don't want to feel like I have to wing you from anything.
Chris, I have been ready a long, long time.
And he's gone forever, you're sure?
I almost got married 2 years ago.
Why didn't you?
You started to write to me
You felt something that far back?
every day since.
Anne, why didn't you tell me?
I was waiting for you, Chris. Till then, you never wrote, and when you did, what did you say? You sure can be ambiguous, you know.
Anne, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Oh God, I kissed you, Annie. I kissed Annie. How long I've been waiting to kiss you.
I will never forgive you. Why did you wait all these years? All I've done is sit and wonder if I have been crazy for thinking of you.
Oh, Annie, we're going to live now. I am going to make you so happy.
Not like that, you're not.
I kissed you.
Like Larry's brother. Do it like you, Chris. What is it, Chris?
Well, let's go for a drive. I want to
No,
be alone.
what is it, your mother?
No, nothing like that.
Well, then what's wrong? Even in your letters, there was something ashamed.
Yes, I suppose I have been, but it's going for me.
You've got to tell me.
I don't know how to start.
It wouldn't work this way.
It's all mixed up with so many other things. You remember overseas, I was in command of a company?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I lost them.
How many?
Just about all. It takes a little time to toss that off. Because they weren't just men. For instance, one time it'd been raining several days, and this kid came to me and gave me the last pair of dry socks. I put them in my pocket. It's only a little thing, but that's the kind of guys I had. They didn't die. They killed themselves for each other. I mean that exactly. A little more selfish and they'd have been here today. And I got this idea watching them go down. Everything was being destroyed, see, but it seemed to me that one new thing was made. A kind of responsibility, man for man. You understand me? To show that, to bring that onto the earth again, like some kind of a monument, and everyone would feel it standing there behind him, and it would make a difference to him. And then I came home, and it was incredible. There was no meaning in it here. The whole thing to them was kind of a bus accident. I went to work with Dad in that rat race again, and I felt what you said. Ashamed somehow, because nobody was changed at all. It seemed to make suckers out of a lot of guys. I felt wrong to be alive, to open the bank book, to drive the new car, to see the new refrigerator. You can take those things out of a war, but when you drive that car, you've got to know that it came out of the love a man can have for a man. You've got to be a little better because of that. Otherwise, what you have is really loot, and there's blood on it. I didn't want to take any of it. And I guess that included you.
And you still feel that way?
I want you now, Annie.
Because you mustn't feel that way anymore. Because you have a right to whatever you have, everything. Chris, you understand that? To me too. And the money, there is nothing wrong in your money. Your father put hundreds of planes in the air, and you should be proud. A man should be paid for that.
Oh, Annie, I'm going to make a fortune for you.
What'll I do with the fortune?
And you broke. What is this, Labor Day?
All right.
You didn't burst out like that.
Well, nobody told me it was Labor Day. Where's the hot dogs?
All right, you said it once.
Well, now that I know it's Labor Day all the time, I'll wear a bell around my neck.
It's so subtle.
George Bernard Shaw as an elephant.
Hey, George, you kissed it right out of my head. Your brother's on the line.
My brother.
Yeah, George. Long distance.
What's the matter? Is anything wrong?
I don't know. Kate's talking to him. You better hurry up. She'll cost him $5.
I wonder if we ought to tell your mother yet. I mean, I'm not very good in an argument.
We'll wait till tonight, after dinner. Don't get tense, just leave everything to me.
What are you telling her?
Go ahead, Annie. We're getting married, Dad. Don't you say anything?
Oh, I'm glad, Chris. It's just, George is calling from Columbus.
Columbus?
Did Annie tell you he was going to see his father today?
No, I don't think she knew anything about it.
Chris, you think you know her pretty good.
What kind of a question is that?
I'm just wondering. All this time, George don't go to see his father. Suddenly he goes and she comes here.
What about it?
Well, it's crazy, but it comes to my mind. She don't hold anything against me, does she?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just talking. To his last day in court, the man blamed everything on me. This is his daughter. I mean, if she was sent here to find out something.
Why? What is there to find out?
Why are you so excited, George? What happened there?
I mean, if they want to open the case up again, for the nuisance value, to hurt us.
Dad, how could you think that of her?
Couldn't be.
Dad, you amaze me.
Okay, forget it. Forget it. I want a clean start with you, Chris. I'm going to put a new sign over the plant. Christopher Keller Incorporated.
J.O. Keller is good enough.
We'll talk about it. I'm going to build you a house, stone, with a driveway from the road. I want you to spread out, Chris. I want you to use what I made for you. With joy, Chris. Without shame. With joy.
I will, Dad.
Say it to me.
Why?
Sometimes I think you're ashamed of the money.
Don't feel
Because there's nothing wrong with that money. That's good money, Chris.
Dad, you don't have to be telling me this.
Listen, Chris, I'll go to work on Mother for you. We'll get her so drunk tonight, we'll all get married. Erin's gonna be a wedding kid like there never was seen, with champagne and tuxedos.
Because when you get excited, you don't control yourself. What did he say to you, for God's sake? All right, fine, come then. Yes, they will all be here. Nobody is running away from you, and try to get a hold of yourself, will you? All right. All right. Goodbye.
Something happened?
He's coming here?
On the 7 o'clock. He is in Columbus. I told him it would be all right.
Sure. Your dad took sick.
No, George didn't say he was sick. I don't know. I suppose it's something stupid. You know, my brother. Let's go for a drive or something.
Sure. Dad, give me the keys.
Go to the park now. It's beautiful.
Come on in. Be back right away.
See you.
Take your time. What does George want?
He's been in Columbus with Steve since this morning. He's got to see Annie right away, he says.
What for?
I don't know. He's a lawyer now, Joe. George is a lawyer. All these years he hasn't sent a postcard to Steve. Since he's been back from the war, not a postcard.
So?
So suddenly he has to take an airplane from New York to see him? An airplane?
So what?
Why?
I don't read minds, do you?
What has Steve suddenly got to tell him that he has to take an airplane to see him?
Oh, now what do I care what Steve's got to tell him?
You sure, Joe?
Yes, I'm sure.
You better be smart now, Joe. The boy is coming. Be smart.
Once and for all, did you hear what I said, huh? I said I'm sure.
Joe, just be smart.